Welcome to Woodbury High School, where tonight Keystone Productions continues its coverage of high school girls basketball. Tonight's game features two schools ranked in the top 10 that could provide an exciting finish to the non-conference portion of the schedule, with the Minneapolis South Tigers from the Minneapolis City Conference and the Woodbury Royals from the Suburban East Conference. Stick around, everyone, because we will begin momentarily. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Heaton, and I'm here with Broderick Bell. Broderick, South and Woodbury are ranked in the top 10 for two very different reasons. What implications does this game have for both teams?
Well, I still think it's just a warm-up game. It's still preseason. These people are still filling out each other. I think we're going to see a tale of two teams. One team that's going to be delivered with Woodbury, and South that's going to try and do a little up-tempo and force Woodbury to get out of their game. Woodbury will probably keep their score down the 40s. And I predict, Mike, that if they keep their score down the 40s, they'll win. If it gets above the 40s, then it's going to be a victory for South.
South, speaking of South, are coming off a year where they finished second in last year's Class 4A state tournament and have yet to lose a game this season. Junior guard Tayler Hill continues to man the helm with 18 points per game. And while on paper that may sound like she's struggling, South has intimidated opponents with 3 scoring threats, and on top of that, all of their starters from last season are back.
Well, Tayler Hill's distributing the ball more this year, and that's why her point production is down. She probably figures it's best to have 3 or 4 people in double figures versus just yourself. That's the way you make your team better, and that's the way you get yourself to the target center.
Woodbury is no pushover, though. They were co-champions of the Suburban East Conference last year and did it by frustrating challengers with a slow tempo and stellar defense. They've continued to do that this season, as they have allowed just over 40 points per game and face South with a 6-1 record.
We're going to see front pick, back pick, V-cuts, everything from Woodbury. We're going to see some real good basketball by both teams.
All right, let's take a look at the keys to the game. Well, we'll start with Minneapolis South. First, they need to run up the score. Woodbury, not a team that likes to play fast tempo and put up a lot of points. South, as you mentioned, gets into the 40s, 50s, 60s, especially the 70s. Woodbury's in big trouble. Second, they have to play hard, no gimmicks. According to the words of Coach Emil Jihad, they have to play hard. They know Woodbury's going to come at them with defense. They're going to have to be patient and understand their shots may not fall and that they just have to be persistent. Finally, they need to make sure Tayler Hill touches the ball. You mentioned she's distributing the ball more often, but South can't forget that she is the nucleus of this team. Broderick, what does Woodbury have to do?
Woodbury just needs to continue to do what they do. Front pick, back pick, V-cuts. They're going to do it all tonight. And Woodbury's not going to change. They're going to still keep that score into the 40s. Woodbury keeps the game in the 40s, Woodbury wins. If that game gets up in the 60s and 80s, it's going to be a South win.
Who will prevail in a classic battle between offense and defense? There's only one way to find out, and that's by watching with us. Welcome back to the Lion's Den, as Woodbury likes to call it, where we talked about we're going to see a classic battle between offense and defense. It might come down to a question of who's going to give first. A few news and notes before the game. South is in the middle of a 4-game stretch. This is their 3rd game out of 4 in the last 7 days. They have a matchup against their rival Minneapolis North tomorrow. Second, Sarah Hintz is out. Sarah Hintz was Woodbury's leading scorer, and the Royals could feel that tonight depending on how these two teams perform. And finally, as you like to talk about, the tale of 3 seasons. We're coming down to the end of the first season with the non-conference matchups, and the conference matchups will be starting shortly.
Yes.
We will now take a look at the starting lineups. We will begin with the visiting Minneapolis South Tigers. For South, their starters will be Tayler Hill at guard, Taisha Smith at guard, Avisha Holmes at guard, Gabrielle Roberts at forward, and Takoya Hammock at center. Tayler Hill, the marquee player for Minneapolis South. Keep an eye on her tonight. For Woodbury, their starters will be Lindsay Sajovic at guard, Jessica Thone at guard, Cassie Coleman at guard, Katie Christoffel at forward, and Kelsey Christoffel at center. For Woodbury, they may not score a lot, but they do have a three-point specialist in Jessica Thone, and you've got the Christoffel twins, who were very productive and solid in last season. And you can tell looking at the court that the Woodbury Royals are fired up.
You know, I look at this stuff here they do in the middle of the court like that. As coaches, we hate it because they're taking away from time we can, that little last preparation stuff. You're going to start to see coaches getting away from it.
Dave Preller, head coach of Woodbury, already talking to his team, going over some last-minute notes. You can tell he knows he has a really powerful team that he's going to have to coach against. And if you just joined us, Tekoya Hammock is not wearing her number 40. She is wearing number 32 tonight. Woodbury wearing blue, South wearing white. In fact, South's jerseys look somewhat similar to what Michigan State wears for their games. Wonder who's going to get this tip off. Here we go. South with the first possession.
Woodbury in a man-to-man, which is a great idea. And also, you can get in the zone with them right now.
Hill.
There they got.
Pass is stolen by Christoffel.
They have to take care of the ball. They don't take care of the ball. South will get in a running match. Now they're in a deliberate. Here we go. Back pick. V-cuts. All that. Measuring them up.
Woodbury's not going to hurry to get their shots off. Katie Christoffel fires, misses.
South does a good job of one and done on that one.
Tayler Hill with the rebound. She's going to spin around, take it herself, and somehow gets a left-handed layup. South strikes first. I don't know how she got the roll. Coleman to Jessica Thone. Thone, the three-point specialist. Sajovic now.
Nice
Coleman.
Triple threat.
Coleman draws the foul.
See how Woodbury's trying to force them to do something, drive to the bucket, go in there hard, force them to foul. It's going to try and get South into foul trouble.
High school basketball, you're given 5 fouls. After that, you're out. As a team, you're allowed to give up 6 fouls. After that, you send your opponent to the free throw line.
Back pick, skip pass, everything. They're going to try and keep this game down in the 40s, which I think is a good idea because South is a very, very good team.
And we'll see just how patient South can be on defense.
That's right, because Woodbury ain't going anywhere. See, coach is up hollering right now. Get the hands up in the passing lanes. Cut that stuff off.
Christoffel.
And we have 2 points, see?
Katie Christoffel.
Almost went a solid minute. What was it, 7, 8 passes on that exchange?
Katie Christoffel gets Woodbury on the board. Tayler Hill for 3. Bullseye! She was open.
Yeah, but now, here comes Woodbury. And guess what they're going to do? Here's another foul. They're going to take their time and make South play some more defense.
Gabrielle Roberts will be called for the reach-in foul. Her first personal.
Coach Shahed is trying to press them to force them to speed their game, but Woodbury's done this a few times. They're not going, oh, here comes the Globetrotter weave.
St. Paul Central is in their section, so they're used to stuff like this. Coleman looked for an open player, and instead we have a jump ball.
Which will go to Woodbury.
Still, South looking to take any opportunity they can to break up Woodbury's offense. Zone. Woodbury does that a lot. Pump fakes and then pass out, start again.
There they come off the back pick, off the post. Nothing there. Triple threat. Take a good look.
And the other
There's
thing.
the back door. Finds the big person. She gets out. Nothing there. We're down to 14 minutes on time. Notice what they're doing. South is playing a lot of defense. There's a foul there. Third foul of the game.
Woodbury's not going to force anything to happen. They're just going to let it happen.
It's like that song, you got to know when to hold them.
Well, they're doing a good job of holding them, but they're down by 3, but they're not going to play a fast tempo game. South, though, with 3 fouls left to give, though. And now Coleman
Good play.
Aphesia Holmes with the steal. And now she'll drive herself and draws the foul. Our first trip to the free throw line. And it's Aphesia Holmes, who will get 2 shots. Makes her first. Holmes coming into tonight, averaged 13.3 points per game. Also leads the team in assists with 5.5 assists per game.
I kind of like all that orange and black, huh?
Those are nice jerseys, I'll give you that. South up 7-2. Woodbury.
Press is breaking.
You could have said, well, they could have driven to the basket, but Woodbury's just going to take their time. Coleman.
That'd be running, wouldn't it, Mike? And what does Woodbury not want to do?
Jessica Thome, no, that Sajovic missed the 3. Jessica Thome with the rebound. And Woodbury will reset. Thone from the paint. Lays one up, no good. Jacoya Hammock with the rebound. Hill threw into double coverage. But Aphesia Holmes will drive it in the paint, short. Rebound, she gets her own rebound, lays one up, but probably not the right type of shot to do a fadeaway jumper. And we have a foul called.
We've got blood.
Oh, we've got blood.
Woodbury's coming in with a substitute right now.
Looks like Kelsey Christoffel might have some bleeding issues. Oh, it's her elbow. Mary Croning now steps in. With the absence of Sarah Hintz, Dave Preller told me Croning has done a really good job of adapting quickly to Woodbury's type of game.
Point guard is doing a good job of warding off the pressure. Just playing good basketball.
South in a 2-3. Now they're switching to more man-to-man.
Actually, it was a man-to-man. It was Woodbury's offense that had him standing still.
Thome missed the 3. Cronin could not respond. Another jump ball. South will take possession.
Now, if you notice, with their offense, and South has the height advantage, but moving in and out, Woodbury's able to compete on the boards. It's a sound strategy.
Talking about height advantage, Jacoya Hammock, 6'4", and she stepped up, especially in this season. Foul away from the ball. It's against Minneapolis South.
Now, if I was South to counter that, I'd give them some heavy dosage of Hammock. Go straight right to her in the low post. Have her down the low block and get Woodbury in some trouble.
Hammock.
There's not a man out there that can guard her.
Hammock-Tate with their first personal foul. South already has 4. We're not even halfway through the first. Taisha Smith, aggressive, gets the steal. Look for Ephesian Holmes, but Katie Christoffel breaks up the pass. Woodbury, they could have a fast break here. And
Woodbury's not fast breaking.
They may look like they're going to do one, but they're just going to sit back and look for a move.
They're going to run some offense. He calls a timeout. He doesn't see he's not happy with that. You have to understand, Coach's offense is his defense. Right now he says, my offense, good offense makes great defense. And it's a great strategy because South will run it on you. I mean, for crying out loud, they have all everything. They've got all the athletes, and it can happen.
We mentioned in the beginning of the broadcast, South returning all of their starters from last season. And this was a team that was finished runner-up in the Class 4A state championship. So this is a team that's not going to fool around. In fact, they're coming off their first 100-point game of the season, where they destroyed Minneapolis Henry 105-25. That's the other thing. South doesn't have a problem breaking the century mark.
Well, that's just it. Woodbury's not going to let them do it. They're going to try not to let them do it tonight.
Well, so far, they've kept them to 7 points, but they only have 2. They're going to have to start hitting more of their shots if they're looking to make a move.
As soon as they get more comfortable with their offense, they will. But meanwhile, South isn't doing anything to push them out of their offense. They have to be more aggressive in their man-to-man sets. For instance, that point guard should be up a little bit closer on Woodbury's point guard to force Woodbury to make some mistakes.
Woodbury may have gotten a little too patient. A traveling violation is called.
What is it? Here it is, already 11 minutes left to go in the game. I mean, they've really burned off a lot of time.
Taisha Smith drives, uses the backboard to sink one. It's 9-2.
Nice basket.
But talking about Woodbury's slow tempo strategy, well, here comes Cassie Coleman. Drove, nearly throws it away. Sajovic recovered. Woodbury will reset. It's almost like they're telling South, come and get me.
Well, actually what they're doing is just playing offense. That's just what you have to do. South needs to extend their defense. Win, and I think that Jihad will extend. This game will be blown wide open.
South looking poised to do that. They're up by 7. Although last year we saw Cretin-Durham Hall open up to an early lead against this Woodbury team, and Royals ended up winning that one.
Winning it big.
Coleman. To Katie
South
Christoffel.
now switching on their man. They're not going through.
Sajovic with the miss, Christoffel with the rebound. She can't get it to fall. Takoya Hammock with the rebound for South. Smith stops, pops, swish. 4 points for Smith. And for South, the strategy just seems to be just lay him up and sink him. Woodbury just has gotten too many shots to fall, and that's why they're down by 9. But here comes Mary Croning, open. She gets a left-handed layup.
Backdoor cut.
Breaks Woodbury's scoring drought.
Now, look for Jihad to call a timeout if that happens in the next exchange down the floor. He's going to correct that immediately. Otherwise, it will be a problem.
Holmes in and out, rebound thrown. They've got numbers. And they're just going to wait to look for an open shot. And there comes the defense. Ephesian Holmes tried to get a little too fancy with it. Now she has to fight for it. And she has nothing to show for the steal. Coleman comes back up with the ball. South got a hand on that ball, so Woodbury will keep possession. Substitution stepping in. Amisha Kearney, number 21, steps in for South. And for Woodbury, Kelsey Christoffel back in the game.
South is bringing in some more defense.
They picked up their 15th foul, though.
Well, Mike, take a look at the calls. It's 5-1.
Hannah BETZ also stepped in for Woodbury, number 22. South with only one more foul to give. Christoffel drives, shot was blocked by Hammock. Here comes Gabby Roberts, swish.
They're shooting well, aren't they?
They're getting it done from inside the paint and outside. It's 13-4. With Woodbury's style of play, you can kind of get a sense of how critical it is for them to hit their shots. Katie Christoffel, no foul is called. Hammock comes up with the steal. Hill pump fakes with the three, goes for a two, no good. Hammock with the rebound. But an offensive foul is called. It's on Hammock. South out of fouls to give. And that will send Megan Stromen into the game for Woodbury. And for South, 0-0. Steps into the game.
Now all of a sudden, South's height advantage is gone with their big men gone with two fouls.
And Woodbury can now make their move from the free throw line. They're going to be shooting them from here on out. Megan Stromen draws the foul, and now we're going to see Woodbury making some trips to the free throw line.
Now they get to score, and the clock's not running. And that gives them a chance to catch up without burning up clock.
Stromen makes her first. Coming into tonight, she was only averaging 2 points per game.
Even though Emil Jihad is in the one-on-one, I would extend the half-court offense. I would try to push Woodbury out of their element. I think they can. I think that's what he's going to do, but he's waiting until the second half to make that adjustment.
13-6, and Tayler Hill. There was some miscommunication on that possession, and now Woodbury has a chance to claw their way back even further. Taisha Smith stepping in for Ephesian Holmes.
I just think that South needs to back off of their press and meet them at half court, and I think it'll be much more effective.
Tayler Hill with the steal. Here she comes. She's going to drive it. And Woodbury says, you want to score 2 points, you're going to have to do it from the free throw line.
Yes.
Hill, though, the team's leading scorer, sinks her first. She hasn't scored too many points.
It's because she's been playing defense.
Last year, she led the state in scoring. This year, she may have someone to deal with in the Minneapolis City Conference. Julianne Mitchell leads the state in scoring with over 200 points per game. You're looking at a player that Tayler Hill with the steal, and now Gabby Roberts, traveling violation. going back to Mitchell, you're looking at a player that's putting up over 30 points a game for Minneapolis Edison.
Woodbury's trying to go back to the middle after their wing entry, and South is negating that. It's doing its great strategy on South.
2 quick steals. So the traveling violation caused no harm for Minneapolis South.
No.
Kearney drives, no. And they draw another foul. BETZ came up with the ball, and Woodbury will be shooting free throws. If you just joined us, no, you're not watching a football game. Minneapolis South is leading 15-6. Jenny HOULE, the three-point specialist, now steps in the game, replacing Gabrielle Roberts. Carrie Lang at the line. Makes her first, Lang averaging 5.7 points per game coming into tonight. Makes both here. Smith, inside, count it.
It's exactly what South has to do to counter Woodbury right now, is take it strong to the hole and force them to do something. It's a great, strong move by the point guard.
Smith has 6 points. She's not too far behind Tayler Hill, averaging 17.7 points per game coming into tonight. Three-point play successful. Woodbury is now looking at a 10-point deficit. Bet that makes it work. (18-10). Hill for 3. Bullseye! I don't think it will be much longer before Woodbury starts to challenge her from behind the arc. Now on the other end, Stromen's shot was no good. Draws another foul.
Now, you see the strategy? You go towards the basket. Either way, we're going to get 2. You got to foul us, or we're going to go to free throw and we're going to score 2.
And it's in Stromen back to the line.
Well, that was a great shot by Tayler Hill on the other end, wasn't it?
Yeah, Stromen averaged only 2 points a game coming into it, but with Woodbury, I'm sure the players aren't too worried about how many points they're putting up. They're still winning ball games. Mallory Kramer steps in the game for Minneapolis South, replacing Amisha Kearney.
See, they're making the free throws.
We'll see how South can respond. 0-0 for 3. 3 for 3 from behind the arc for Minneapolis South, and that's where they're pulling away. Stromen again. No foul, a clean block for Tayler Hill.
She's a very lucky person. She arrived late.
Hill not afraid to play defense on her own, though. Woodbury will keep possession. Taisha Smith broke up that pass. Woodbury will still keep possession, but you can tell South, they're starting to go after the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Against Woodbury's second lineup. BETZ will get the foul.
Now, remember the last time we were talking, Mike, the last 4 minutes of the half is always something that comes different. That last 4 minutes, I've been talking to coaches and they say, geez, some strange things happen because it is longer. You know, it's not the 2 8-minute quarters. You have, you know, the 16-minute halves. Now we're coming down to the 4 minutes. Let's see what happens now.
And for the remaining...
Either one or two things. South will pull ahead, or they'll get in foul trouble, or Woodbury will catch up a little bit.
Well, for the remaining 4 minutes and 59 seconds, Woodbury will automatically get 2 free throws. South has given up their 10th team foul. BETZ 1 of 2. They get their own rebound, though. BETZ, long distance, air ball. Kramer comes up with it.
I get a kick out of Jihad. Now he brings in his bench, what we call, as coach calls, the junk squad. They're going to come and do a little just flailing all over the place and try and take some of Woodbury's legs out of him. There's a mistake right there. She's going to drive to the bucket and force him to do something.
She can't capitalize on it, though. That was Taisha Smith on the fast break. Jump ball. Woodbury will take possession.
See, coach up there. Oh, no. Calm down, calm down. Use your head, use your head.
Emil Jihad telling South, watch out for Hannah BETZ, number 22. Here comes Lang. Drives.
Boom.
Gets the foul in the basket. The foul is on 00 Europe guy, Afisha Holmes. Will sub into the game, replacing Taisha Smith. And now Carrie Lang has a chance for a three-point play. Misses the free throw, fight for the rebound. And Katie Cristalvo comes up with it. She's in trouble, gets out of it. Lang, open, no good. Rebound Kearney. And now Woodbury starting to play with a little more urgency. Holmes, she's on the line. 2 if it falls, rims in and out. BETZ with the rebound. Now she's in a double team, gets out of it. Christoffel twins back out on the floor. 4 minutes remaining in the first half.
Did you say Woodbury's playing with urgency?
Now they're calming down. BETZ takes a shot off the rim. Jump ball. This time
South ball.
You're right, South will take possession. And now Dave Preller sending in his starters. He's going to put his starting 5 back out on the floor with 4 minutes to go.
And they're rested. Meanwhile, he only has, Emil Jihad only has 2 of his starters out there with 2 of them in foul trouble on the bench.
Guy has her pass stolen by Sajovic. Here she comes, it's a one-on-one, in and out.
Sajovic with the left-handed layup, that was a nice move.
Couldn't get it, but she got her own rebound, and Woodbury has now reset. I think Woodbury was listening to me a couple possessions ago. Sajovic thought about a 3, goes to Coleman instead. And Coleman throws it away.
She broke the cardinal sin, never throw a bounce pass to a big man. They don't catch them well.
Woodbury playing what looked like a zone. Afisha Holmes, no. A lot of missed shots in this game, but the offensive rebounding has stepped up for both teams. And Holmes will try again. This time her drive in the paint is successful. 26-15 in favor of Minneapolis South. Sajovic will go to the free throw line. The foul is on Kearney.
Sajovic comes from a strong line of athletic people. The Sajovic family are known from Johnson and Hamlin University. They can play some ball.
Emil Jihad for South calls timeout. Woodbury, no strangers to athletic talent. They were the Class 4A state champions in girls basketball back in 2003. And Kylie Coleman, the older sister of Cassie Coleman, is now playing soccer for the University of Minnesota.
Yes. By the way, Mike, I see Mark Maurer over sitting on the Woodbury side. He's the head coach of those Golden Bears over at Concordia College here in St. Paul.
Couldn't do the game without throwing in a Concordia reference.
Oh no, oh no.
I've used up my Gopher reference already. Sajovic, meanwhile, goes back to the line. Sajovic, averaging 6.7 points per game coming into tonight, misses her first. Woodbury getting a lot of trips to the free throw line, but have missed a few of them in their last few trips. In fact, nothing doing. And that could pay.
Nice lead pass.
South will make them pay for that. That was Ephesian Holmes. She likes to drive inside. It's 28-15. South, they're looking to blow this one open with 2 minutes to go in the first. Doan was looking to get a foul on that one, but Tayler Hill just set her body up for a block and forced another Woodbury turnover. Now South slowing things down.
Now when you have Tayler Hill playing the whole half, you know, you need to slow things down. Nice move by Tayler Hill.
Drew a foul that was before the shot, so South will inbound it with Woodbury. Their style of play, they're not picking up a lot of fouls. They still have 2 to give. HOULE from the baseline, from the free throw line, no good. Coleman with the rebound. That's thought about a 3, but they're gonna take their time. They know the game's not decided in the first half.
No, they're not. They're not gonna go anywhere.
They're a 6-1 team, so don't chalk this one
Here
up.
comes a back pick, then front pick.
South was in a 2-3. Hill looking for the steal, goes back to Coleman. And now Thone with the open 3. No good.
She'll get talked to about doing that.
Christoffel with the rebound. Thone with another shot. No good. Kearney with the rebound. They've got numbers. And the foul is on Coleman. South will inbound it, though, with 48.4 seconds. That's the thing. Woodbury, they haven't fouled a whole lot, so South isn't getting free trips to the line.
No.
Which is keeping the distance from getting too far.
That's right.
Hill thought about a 3, goes inside, wants a 2. Gets the basket, and now a 3-point play opportunity.
Basket's good.
Hill hasn't put up too many points in this half, but she's shown that she can go inside and outside. Three-point play successful. And that's why she has a lot of NCAA Division I schools looking at her.
Another blood incident.
Once again, it's Kelsey Christoffel. You saw her elbow bandaged up. Mary Cronin stepping into the game again.
Turner's getting a lot of work today, huh?
Yeah, speaking of Hill, Coach Emil Jihad told me they've had at least one Division I scout looking at her for every game. Woodbury, they may decide to run out the clock here. Not going to happen, double dribble. And those kinds of mistakes have been killing the Royals in this first half.
Yeah.
They're going to have to clean that up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, South, they could blow this one open and cruise to a victory.
Oh, there's no cruise here.
HOULE, air ball. Well, we still have
Woodbury's not going to let that happen.
We still have 18 more minutes left, so it's not over just yet. Katie puts up a shot, doesn't fall. And a foul on Woodbury. It's on Croning. Woodbury out of fouls to give now, so South will get an opportunity to add 2 more points before the end of the half.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Coach Dave Preller will be talking to his players about watching the fouls.
Well, I think he's going to make some adjustments. Woodbury's not shooting well. Their plan is a good plan. They're not putting the ball in the hole. On the other hand, South is. So, I mean, this game would be a lot closer if Woodbury was making their baskets.
HOULE makes her first. Averages 6.7 points per game, sinks both free throws here. So South is going to get 2 more points to end the first half. Let's see if Woodbury tries to get one more shot. 3 seconds. Not going to happen. South with a great steal. And that will end the first half. South not putting up a lot of points, but they have been dominant as they go into halftime with a 33-15 lead.
Yeah, they're going to have to make some adjustments. Now look for South in the second half to extend their defense a little bit. You know, he's going to, and when I say extend their defense, extend their half-court defense and force Woodbury to make a lot more mistakes, and then this game will be blown wide open. You don't want to do these type of things in the first half and let Woodbury measure up on you. Woodbury is a very well-coached team, and you have to pick your times when you're going to make a move.
They're not 6-1 for nothing. Well, we will take a break. Before the game, I had a chance to speak with both coaches, Emil Jihad for Minneapolis South and Dave Preller for Woodbury. So we'll take you to that, and we'll see you on the flip side of on the second half. See you then. I'm here with head coach of the Minneapolis South Tigers, Emil Jihad. Coach, you got beat by Central twice last year, and that, of course, the last time was in that state championship game. What did you tell your players after the conclusion of that game, and what did you tell them on their first practice of this season?
Well, you know, every day we get up and go forward. We don't live in the past, so the way we look at it is that we're going to just move on past that and try and plan for the future. You know, we work out every day at 6 a.m., and the way I look at it, our kids go really hard.
Now, you've started this season at 6-0. What areas of the game would you say your team has improved upon from this time last year?
We've worked all summer long, playing a lot of AAU ball, working on shooting, fundamentals. So I feel like individually, kids have really enhanced their skills and gotten better individually.
And what will you expect from your team as the season progresses, as they go on to continue playing in the Minneapolis City Conference and face the non-conference opponents that your team has, including Kennedy and Central and Eden Prairie?
Well, we'll just continue to work on our stuff. We're not going to change too much. Of course, every day is not Central High School, but with the Minneapolis City Conference, it's kind of a dogfight because you have Roosevelt and North, you know, and Edison on the prowl there. So, you know, you just got to kind of make simple adjustments in practice and move forward. So we're looking to improve every day.
Now, I know you're obviously looking to take home the title this year for Class 4A, but what other goals have you established for South as they began the season, as they progressed through the season?
We have some really strong bench players this year, and you'll see that tonight. For once, my first time in 4 years now, we've had a bench to go to, and we want to utilize those people. We want to make them a part of the mix. Our first game, Tayler picked up 3 fouls in the first 3 minutes of the game, so we had to go to our bench. And then Takoya Hammock picked up 2 fouls, so there's 2 starters out immediately first 5 minutes of the game, so we had to rely on our bench the rest of the first half. And we were able to overcome that obstacle, but I want to be able to execute a little bit more and be able to rely on my bench.
Thank you. Emil Jihad, head coach of Minneapolis South. I'm here with head coach of the Woodbury Royals, Dave Preller. Dave, you You're coming off a year where you were co-champions of the Suburban East Conference and currently bringing a 6-1 record to the table against Minneapolis South. How does that make you feel?
Well, we've had a nice start to the season. Didn't play particularly well in the first couple of games, but scratched out a couple of wins. And then we had some nice ball games where we played a really good half here and there, and still looking to put together a real complete game.
Now, compared to last season, what areas of the game has Woodbury improved upon from a year ago?
Just our overall experience, having kids back from playing for a year or two. I think we're a lot more knowledgeable about the game. So we make better passes, we cut better, our timing is better. So overall, that just allows you to play the game a little bit better. Kids get to know each other more too, so they look for each other on the floor because they've played with them before.
Now, you haven't had Sarah Hintz available for the last few games. What has your team done to adapt to not having one of their players out on the court?
Well, first of all, our second group of kids picked it up because they realized that their minutes became a lot more important. So we've got a lot more contributions from the kids that are coming in off the bench. And then second, people that we play in there, Kelsey Christoffel and Mary Croning, have done a nice job in a short amount of time.
And how will this game against Minneapolis South, the runners-up in last year's Class 4A state championship, prepare you as you go on to play a tough Suburban East Conference?
Well, our team at the start of the year, and our goals to compete at the top of the conference and in our section. So our group was a good group to take against anybody, and of course we're trying to overcome the loss of a leading scorer and leading rebounder, one of our top rebounders in Sarah Hintz. So that changes a little bit, but we're still playing Minneapolis South because St. Paul Central's in our section, and they resemble about the closest thing to them. So it's to get that experience, and it's to get an example of really talented guards, very quick athletes, and we've got to learn how to play against that type of basketball team.
Thank you. Head coach Dave Preller of Woodbury. Welcome back to the Lions Den, home of the Woodbury Royals, where Keystone Productions presents high school girls basketball. We have a non-conference matchup between Minneapolis South and Woodbury. The leading scorers from the first half for South, no surprise, their marquee three leading the way. Tayler Hill with 13 points, Taisha Smith with 7 points, and Ephesian Holmes with 6 points. For Woodbury, Carrie Lang has 4 points. Megan Stromen, who's scored all her points from the free throw line, has 4. And Hannah BETZ has 3. And the big difference in the first half so far, just flat out shooting. Now for Minneapolis South, their leading scorers, Hill, Smith, and Holmes, happen to be the 3 leading scorers overall for Minneapolis South. And if you want to look at it from a poker's perspective, if you want to beat Minneapolis South, you got to beat 3 of a kind.
Absolutely. Well, it'll be interesting to see how both coaches made their adjustments at halftime. Like I said before we closed, I think that South might be involved in extending their half-court defense to push Woodbury out of there, push them out just a little bit out of sync. Woodbury is talking about maybe getting a little bit closer, getting better shot selections, and start working on better shooting.
Now, both schools are on the front end of back-to-back games. Woodbury will be playing tomorrow against North St. Paul, and South will face their arch rival Minneapolis North tomorrow. Woodbury has the first possession, but these two schools are both going to have a lot of tough programs to face in the conference portion of the season. And we're seeing more of the same from Woodbury.
South in a zone, a 2-3.
Woodbury doing more of the same, just executing patience. Going for 3, no good. Rebound, Hammock.
Which is a good move for South. He knows he can't shoot. So now he's pushing him out a little bit farther with his zone.
Both schools, by the way, have all their original starters on the floor again. Ball is stolen. Katie Christoffel picks it up. 1-on-1. No good. Her sister Kelsey cleans up the mess. Woodbury likes to play slow, but they're not going to wait if they've got they have an open look.
No, if they break pass, that's the thing to do. You go get it.
And Woodbury gets the first basket of the second half. But they have 16 more points to go to catch Minneapolis South. Taisha Smith kicks out to Holmes for three. No good. And Gabrielle Roberts will get called for the foul.
Is that the third one for Roberts?
Could be. I know South doesn't want to get themselves in foul trouble again.
Well, I don't know. If I'm South, I'd probably stay in that zone. It was pretty effective the last time down.
Looks like they're staying in the zone.
Oh, they're going man-to-man.
Yeah. Ball went off a South player. Woodbury will take possession.
Off the black. Get back. Get back.
I know Kelsey has had a lot of work done from the Woodbury trainer. She had to leave the game a couple times in the first half because of bleeding. For three, no good. That was Sajovic. And the rebound goes to Smith. She may have an open look. She'll take it. Too strong. Rebound, Holmes. And she draws the foul.
Classic mistake by Woodbury, number 40. She gets the rebound, brings it down. A smaller person can just grab it right out of their hands. Coaches like to tell their ball players, when you get that ball, keep it up high.
Kelsey Christoffel called for her first foul. Ephesia Holmes now at the line. Misses. Gets the back end. $16 minutes left in the half. South with a 17-point cushion, which right now doesn't mean anything.
Nice play by South. Good defense. You know, she didn't jump, so therefore she stayed on the ground. And being that tall, just take the ball away from the opponent. It's a good move.
They force a jump ball, and South will get the ball. Tayler Hill, I don't think she's seen a break in this entire game.
No. Well, she's the straw that stirs the drink, and you're not going to take out the straw.
Gabby Roberts' shot was blocked by Katie Christoffel, and Woodbury will get possession. Roberts not happy with that. And now South, they were in trouble for a little bit.
The press is really starting to get to Woodbury right now. Look for a rash of turnovers to layups, and this game will then be broken wide open. I can see now South is starting to measure that up. They're getting their hands in the passing lanes, and it's about ready to get ugly.
Hannah Betts replacing Sajovic. Taisha Smith with another steal. Tayler Hill was open, but wasn't in position. Taisha Smith with the ball, goes through the paint, kicks it out to Roberts. Roberts could not handle the pass.
Nice pass. It's just a little miscommunication, but the defense is, you can see it. It's tightening up now. Look at that, they're right up on them.
Taisha Smith will get called for the foul.
Coach is still not going to pull that off. He wants things disrupted, and that's the right move by South.
Katie Christoffel gets the right-handed layup. And Woodbury looking to respond to this press. Roberts has the ball stripped by Cassie Coleman. And Now we got Kelsey. She'll drive. And
it's got to be 4 fouls on Roberts, isn't it?
It is on Gabrielle Roberts. Kelsey Christoffel back at the line. She hasn't seen too much action in the first half. Makes her first free throw. Now Mallory Kramer stepping in for Roberts, so Roberts is definitely in foul trouble.
It's a good move by Jihad. Give her a chance to stay down.
Kelsey Christoffel sinks both. Woodbury cuts the lead to 13.
Nice pass.
To Hammock. Hammock
Great
knows what
pass.
to do. Takoya Hammock, between this season and last season, doing a much better job of taking advantage of the position inside the lane. Katie Christoffel on the other end, short. Rebound Holmes. Here comes Hill. It's a 2-on-2. Jukes, Cassie Coleman gets the layup. Hill with 15 points. South playing with much more aggressiveness in the second half. Kitty Christoffel goes again. Again, no good.
She has a tough time taking on Hanner. She doesn't know how to negotiate her. The trick is you turn and go into the big person. Don't try and fade away.
Hammock has 6 inches on Christoffel, and she gets another 2 points from the paint. 2 quick inside buckets, and Dave Preller has seen enough.
He's going to take a full timeout too.
Before he lets South blow this one out of the water. Before the game, I had an opportunity to speak with Tayler Hill of Minneapolis South and spoke to her about some thoughts she had on her experience from last season and what goals she has for this season. So we will show you that interview now. I'm here with South star phenomenon Tayler Hill, who led the state in scoring last year and has helped the South Tigers to a 6-0 start this season. Tayler, you got swept by St. Paul Central last season, first in the Twin Cities game and then in the state championship. What did you tell yourself as you began this season with the South team who has all their starters returning from last year?
I knew that Central was a really good team and that they had really good players there. Angel and Ebony was there last year, but I knew that we had to come back harder this year and work harder and to be the state champions this year.
And what areas are you looking to improve in for your individual play and for the team as you look to take your first state title?
Being more of a leader, but rebounding and getting more assists, just being a leader and being a supporter of my team.
Now, how did your experience in last year's state tournament help prepare your team for this season with a tough schedule so far and looking ahead?
I think it just opened our eyes to a lot. We knew that even though we had a perfect record until we played Central, that we knew we had to come out hard and play strong, and that we have a lot of areas to improve on. So Central just helped us out to show us that we still have areas that we need to improve on.
And for fans who are new to Minneapolis South or haven't heard of them much until this season, what would you tell those fans to expect from the Minneapolis South Tigers?
A hard-working team, a team that plays together, a team that knows basketball and is ready to play and win a championship.
And what goals do you have for yourself this season? Obviously, you want to win the state title, but what other things are you hoping to learn this season as you get ready for senior year next year?
I just want to open up myself a little bit more in all-around game and just work on my all-around game and just becoming a better player.
Thank you. Tayler Hill of Minneapolis South. Hill, as we mentioned earlier in the game, led the state in scoring last year, picked up where she left off this season, and she's only a junior. I know it's a little early to be making these kinds of predictions, but do you have a feeling that next year in the Twin Cities we might have a battle between her and De'Ara Taylor of Central?
Could be.
Hill looking for the steal. You can tell South, they're looking to scoop up anything that comes in their path. Woodbury will keep the ball, though.
Yes, they're having a tough time with this press now. They're going to take their time again once they cross. See, right now, Woodbury's not playing South. Woodbury's playing the season. They're getting ready. They're ignoring the score. They're not trying to do anything to get back in this game. They're going to stay within themselves and continue to basically, this is practice.
BETZ goes inside, draws another foul.
I mean, that's what Coach, he called the timeout. He's telling them, let's not get away from what we do. You know, let's be more deliberate. Let's play get on a half-court sets. Try and make some easy shots. Let's see what we can do here.
The foul is on Mallory Kramer. Hannah BETZ back at the line. She's 4 for 4. And I jinxed her.
I wish you stopped that, Michael.
Mary Croning stepping into the game, replacing Kelsey Christoffel. Gets some applause from the Woodbury fans. I'd say we have a pretty good crowd representing Woodbury tonight.
Oh, absolutely. These people are behind their team.
BETZ 1 of 2. It's 40-22 though in favor of Minneapolis South. But throwing in a reality check here as Taisha Smith drives inside, has the shot blocked by Christoffel, comes up with it. Hill look for a 3.
You know, and South is doing a good job of getting in their half-court sets also. This is what it's all about. Let's get ready for the season.
Smith gets another 2 points out of from the paint. As I was mentioning before, this game does not have any implications whatsoever in their conference standings. Woodbury, they're not going to let this one slip away, but needless to say, this is a game that either of these two teams could afford to drop. Thone, pump fakes, goes to Christoffel. Christoffel has been cold from the floor.
A lot.
But
rushing her shot. She's not extending her hand and leaving it up there when she shoots.
Hammock has made her last 3 buckets from the left-hand side of the basket.
Oh, yeah.
But Dave Preller told me the reason why he got Minneapolis South on the schedule was to better prepare themselves against St. Paul Central, who's in their section. Christoffel,
they've got a tall person, too, over there at Central, you know.
We won't talk about the Anaconda.
No, not at all.
We'll be seeing them later on this season. Actually, we'll be televising their regular season rematch against South February 2nd. Hill for 3, short. Rebound goes to Thone, but Preller, he may not have to face Central in that section playoffs, but certainly thinking about it.
Oh, absolutely.
We're about getting close to halfway through the first. Woodbury, if they want to get back in this game, they're going to have to make a move before too long. Coleman, a lot of shots have come up short. South's open on the other end. Katie Christoffel breaks up the pass. She's sick of seeing Hammock getting too many buckets from the inside. Hammock, now she'll try one from a longer distance. Woodbury will get possession. That was another air ball. You can tell Hammock prefers to play at the center position.
Woodbury, they know this game's in the bag for South. They're gonna, like I said, get back to doing the things they do.
We still have a lot of season left.
Absolutely.
Woodbury's got another game tomorrow, so I'm sure they're going to put this one.
South is in a zone.
Oh,
they get the ball back.
Coleman's 3 in and out. They just can't buy a bucket. Holmes from the other end. Bullseye!
If anybody's watching Woodbury now, one way to rush their offense is to go into a zone, because they look to try to cut, pass, and cut and flash up to the post. And when you go to a zone, you negate all that business. And so then there's no other alternative but to shoot the ball.
Amisha Kearney and Sadiqa Jihad stepping in the game, replacing Smith and Holmes. Coach Emil Jihad might be looking to get some of his reserves some playing time with a 25-point lead.
It's a great move. There's no more cutting anymore, see? Woodbury's trying to find the open person. South has basically slowed them down completely. They don't have the ability to make that initial drive pass, that person that's playing the zone on them, and find the open person. So now they have to stand outside and just move the ball around.
Woodbury's still in no hurry up mode. And it was about this time with the Central and Cretan match. I know two different teams, two different styles, but we've seen it happen before where you come back from 25, going for 3. That was nearly NBA range. Can't make it work though.
No, that's not going to happen here. Woodbury can't shoot. They're not very good shooters right now. And if I'm South, South has shown how they can really go ahead and open this game up, and they are.
Another foul on Takoya Hammock. I'd say that's been one of the big mistakes South has had in this game. I'm sure Emil Jihad will be talking to South with the match against North coming up.
Yes.
North was the only team in the Minneapolis City Conference to beat South last year. And had they not dropped another game, they would have been facing Central in the Twin Cities game. Christoffel, another shot, no good.
Yeah, they do best in a man-to-man. It's obvious if anybody's watching this game, one of the key ways of stopping Woodbury is to go to a zone. They don't shoot well.
Almost on cue, Thome missed a layup from the paint.
Sadiqa
Jihad spins around, off balance.
Coach's kid.
Bounces in a layup from the left hand. She's a freshman. Well, that's got to feel good. You'll get in the paper.
Oh, yeah. Look at South, they're talking and moving around. South is about mid-season effort right now for South.
That's drains the
Look
first 3 for Woodbury.
Oh, fabulous pass by Hill.
Does she remind you of anybody?
She reminds me of Tayler Hill.
There is no comparison.
No.
Mallory Kramer with the last basket for South.
She's going to be a great college ball player. She needs to get to the weight room, those kinds of things, but oh my.
And Sadiqa Jihad comes in with the steal.
The freshman.
Hill for 3. No good. Kearney with the rebound.
Hill just blew Jihad's assist. I got to get all over Hill for missing that shot.
Substitutions coming in. Jenny HOULE in for Minneapolis South. Carrie Lang and Megan Stromen in for Woodbury. Foul is on. Foul was against Woodbury. That is one of their positives that they do have to feel good about. They haven't had too many problems with fouls.
No.
I mean, if they've been hitting more of their shots, this game could very well be a lot more down to the wire type. But Hill goes in. Oh, that was a nice razzle-dazzle move.
Yeah.
And now it's Kearney with the steal. She catches Woodbury falling asleep. Tayler Hill saves it. HOULE is open. Won't get the basket, but she will go to the free throw line.
Yeah. Tayler Hill starting to make her presence be felt around here. Steal, assist, scoring. You know, she's just doing it all right now.
Almost insult to injury. Katie Christoffel gets the foul. HOULE steps at the line. Misses her first. South may be up by 28 points, but They're not going to sit back and cruise.
No, no.
They know they're vulnerable.
Well, I've gone against Emil Jahed, and he's not going to sit down for nothing. He's going to forge forward, try to do some things.
Well, we talked about earlier in the keys to the game about scoring. Look at Minneapolis South. They have 54 points. We said Woodbury. Katie Christoffel finally gets a basket. Finally gets on the scoring shot. But said if Woodbury could keep them within 40, they'd have a chance. South right now having 54 points.
Yep.
And Kearney may have a chance to add to that. The foul is on Megan Stromen.
My question to that ball player is, did you know where you're going on that drive? It didn't seem like she knew where she was going. She just was going in there flailing, seeing what she can find.
Nonetheless, she does get 2 free throws. Afija Holmes stepping back in, replacing Mallory Kramer.
She's lucky Woodbury let her off. If I was Woodbury, I'd open the lane and let her drive all the way to the wall.
Kearney bounces that one in, 56-27. South might be playing with a chip on their shoulders. They got beat by Big Red twice last season. About the same margin of victory, too, for Central.
Oh, this is a great move by Jahed. He knows he's got young ball players in there. He leaves the stud in with them. And he's working on his man-to-man with his future. And that's just a great idea. He knows he has a lead. Okay, we're going to go back to man-to-man. Woodbury's going to go back to doing what they do. And so then their people, South's people, can work on playing a good, solid man-to-man. Now they're in a zone. Looks like he's zoning on passes out of bounds. And when he gets an opportunity to come back down, he'll be in a man-to-man.
Katie Christoffel. Draws the foul. Foul is on Hill. I think that's her first of the game.
Could be.
Katie Christoffel goes to the line, though, as South is out of fouls to give, although at this point that seems pretty much moot.
Yeah.
But Woodbury just looking for something to give them some confidence. I mean, they know they had a tough opponent coming into tonight, so.
You know, I don't even know if they're looking for confidence. I think they're just trying to get their timing down. As long as that man-to-man, you know, they're in a conference where it's just tough, and they're going to see a lot of man-to-mans and set the picks and move around and start hitting your shots.
Hill
Tayler
drives
Hill
again.
This one, boom.
No basket. She will get another trip to the free throw line where she has been stellar tonight.
But you see that? She drove to the basket, ends up on the left side, and guess what she uses? She uses her left hand.
I wonder if a lot of players have been taking up the sport of cup stacking, or sports stacking as they call it. Referring to Emily Fox, who once held the world record. She plays for the University of Minnesota, got her teammates into it, and they've said it's helped with their ambidexterity, which they say is a critical asset in the game of basketball, the ability to use both hands.
Kind of a segue to Gopher sports again, is it, Michael?
Hill sinks both. Well, the Gophers, they have a match against Iowa State, and then after that, they play the Big Ten. And we saw last year there were 4 All-Stars going to the Big Ten Conference this year. It's going to be a tough one.
I hear you. Stay tuned for the segue on the Golden Bears.
But we were talking about earlier in the game, this was the tale of 3 seasons. The first season winding down the non-conference play.
Yes.
It's the season where the schools really get a chance to measure up against each other before they play their conference opponents.
Absolutely.
So Woodbury, they're going to fall to 6-2, but they're not going to be too worried about it.
No, that's not bad to start the season with, you know.
Very respectable. In fact, every school in the Suburban East Conference, Hill with the steal, has dropped at least 1 game.
Great job by Hill. Great job by Hill. You know, that's a sign of a good ball player. Get everyone involved in the play. Jahed is just a freshman. You know, award her for making a good defensive decisions, running the floor after they get the steal. This is all good.
And now Sadiqa Jihad has a chance for a 3-point play.
Notice that coach's kid makes free throws.
And she gets
I wonder why. call a basket on the garage. And guess what we're doing after supper?
I'm thinking of 3 players on Humboldt that are well familiar with that strategy.
Could be. I think more like the boys' club.
Katie Christoffel in the paint. Decides to kick it out. BETZ wanted a 3, but kicks out to Croning. That's their style of play. Carrie Lang to BETZ. Long shot 2.
They aren't shooting well at all.
But Hill, you're seeing signs of her developing as an unselfish ball player, willing to make that extra pass.
You know, getting people involved. I mean, she just knows how to play the game. Now, I'll tell you what, there's a point guard over at Bloomington Kennedy. I don't know her name. She is really going to be a star. And I heard that she's the coach's daughter. And I tell you, it's very similar to the Jaheds and the Robinsons and the Melissa Caras are in the world.
Well, and South and Kennedy, 2 non-conference rivals. Avija Holmes with the steal. She's got a 2-on-1. She'll take it herself. Traveling violation, so the basket will not count.
Boo on the referee. She was doing a left-hander. Come on, stop it.
But South and Kennedy, as we were talking about, they are non-conference rivals. They play in the same section. Kennedy having a great... Kennedy had one particular player that our old friend Meg Stevenson is happy to see playing in Illinois now.
Yes.
Jenna Smith. So Kennedy, they know how to play ball. They were the 2005 state champions.
Yes.
And finished second in 2006.
Yes, I saw them earlier this year playing our team over at our place at Humboldt, and they looked like $1 million. I walked away thinking that their game in South is going to be just probably a very good game.
Megan Stromen back at the line. Looking to get a couple more. Gets her first.
Yes.
The thing with Woodbury, the big difference tonight is South has been making the baskets. Woodbury has had some scoring droughts, and that's the difference in tonight's game.
Woodbury's just not shooting well, and he'll work on that. He'll do a little more shooting. You know, you forget there's Christmas break. You'll get them in the gym during the week, and we'll work on, you know, getting away from just the mundane stuff you work in practice. You work on shooting. They come in and shoot. Probably have some orange juice and donuts waiting for them after practice, and they go home.
Well, the last time I checked, we still have 2 months left to play in the season.
Oh yeah.
A lot of games left.
Oh yeah. But, you know, those are the times that you can really kind of work with a person's shot. And there's no school around. They wake up, they come in, and, you know, kind of work at it. These are some awful shots that Woodbury's taking now. And look, I'll tell you what, by the end of February, you're going to see some better shooting. I guarantee it.
Well, they're co-champions at a lot of returning starters. Guy for 3, went off the backboard, no good. And now Stromen with an open look. She'll take advantage of that. Gets a couple more for the scoring column.
South looks like a very polished unit, though. I'll tell you what. Yep, attack, attack, attack. That's what you have to do. They're going to make their free throws. They are playing good, solid defense right now.
They found a way to penetrate Woodbury's offense/defense, and that was just drive to the lane. They've been getting a lot of fouls to come their way. And a lot of trips to the free throw line.
Oh, absolutely.
But you see the Woodbury fans, they haven't packed up and headed to their cars. They're sticking around to support their Royals. They know that Woodbury is going to be competitive.
Yeah.
This might just be, and this will probably be a blip on the radar screen.
Oh, yeah.
Within 2 minutes now in the game. Stromen, another missed shot. Holmes comes up with it. You look at the scoreboard, 62 points for Minneapolis South.
And this is what Woodbury didn't want. They wanted that score down in the 40s. If they get it down in the 40s, they win. Anything past it, they lose. And
their last loss to Roseville, they allowed 56 points.
Yeah. I'm not some sort of prognosticator. It's just I've seen it time and time again that when you don't have as good athletes as the other guy, you try and slow that game down. Well, I'm correct. You slow it down in terms of execution, but you're speeding up the game in terms of running the clock.
Yeah, South has Smith couldn't capitalize on either free throw. South has taken it clock control in this half.
Yes.
We saw what happened in the first half. Woodbury had clock control. South had, may have been what you had talked about though. South was just waiting to adjust in the second half and then play their style of ball, and it turned out to work in their favor.
And the adjustment was he went to a zone. He saw that they're not shooting well, you know, and he went to a zone. He could have easily extended his half-court defense and forced Woodbury to make a different type of decisions in terms of getting into their half-court offense, but they didn't. They just went to a zone and said, okay, shoot the ball. We know you don't shoot well.
Pi Keeger now in the game, missed her 1-and-1 opportunity. Preller to HOULE, swish. HOULE, the three-point specialist. Talk about a shooter. Before the game, there was a three-point contest where her and Jessica Thome battled it out. HOULE won 15-11. But Keeger coming in as Kelsey Christoffel fouled out. Not that it matters much with under a minute. Carrie Lang drives. Now Hannah Betz comes in, cleans up the mess. Woodbury looking to work on their timings, get themselves set up for conference play. Guy, she's on the line. Will not fall. HOULE with the rebound. No good. Gabby Roberts with the rebound. Third time is a charm. She cleans up the mess.
I think we can start up the bus. This thing's over.
Who was it? That was it. Don Meredith.
Oh yeah.
Monday Night Football. Turn out the lights. The party's over.
Turn out the light. The party's over.
Traveling violation on Woodbury. And this party has just come to an end here.
Oh yeah.
As South will stay undefeated at 7-0 with a 66-35 win and a classy way to end the game. Just run out the clock.
Absolutely. Woodbury, they'll go back to the drawing board. South, they're going to continue to do what they do. I think that they're definitely one of the class teams in the state. One of the guys that you're going to go after. And Woodbury, they'll be around. You watch and see.
And while South dominated this game, this certainly was not indicative of just the level of talent these two teams had. Woodbury just couldn't get a lot of their shots to fall their way.
No. And then on top of that, South has got the 6'4" guy sitting in the middle ready to swat it. That makes it a little bit difficult also.
That will do it from here. Again, the final score 66-35. Minneapolis South goes to 7-0. For Broderick Bell and everyone else here at Keystone Productions, this is Mike Beaton. So long, everybody.